Welcome back to our channel Poetizonia. This channel tells cinematic stories about real places and events, lost civilizations, ancient collapses, secret cities, unexplained phenomena, and mysteries that history never resolved. Today we explore a real American city shaped by events so powerful, so hidden or so morally charged that the effects still linger today. Some cities are haunted by ghosts. Others are haunted by secrets. This is the story of one of the few places on Earth that learned too much, too fast, and never fully recovered. What if I told you there was an American town that, for years, officially did not exist? No street signs, no mailing addresses, no name on any public map, yet thousands of people live there. This was Los Alamos, New Mexico. In 1943, during the height of World War II, the U.S. Army seized a remote mesa in northern New Mexico. They quietly transformed it into a classified city, the secret headquarters of the Manhattan Project, the most ambitious scientific effort in human history. It was so secret, even the Postal Service wasn't allowed to know where it was. Everyone who lived there used the same single address, P.O. Box 1663, Santa Fe. Imagine trying to explain that to your mailman. By the end of the war, more than 6,000 scientists, engineers, military personnel, and their families were living behind guarded fences and armed checkpoints. On the surface, life looked almost normal. They built schools. They had movie nights. Children rode their bikes through the dusty, unpaved streets. But underneath this facade of normalcy was a world of absolute secrecy. Every adult had signed binding secrecy agreements. Every single phone call was monitored by a switchboard operator. Every letter sent or received was opened and censored by military intelligence, and almost no one was allowed to leave. They were all working toward a single, terrifying goal: building the world's first atomic bomb. The project was led by the brilliant and enigmatic physicist J. Robert Oppenheimer. He assembled a team of luminaries, bringing some of the brightest minds in history, figures like Enrico Fermi, Edward Teller, and Richard Feynman, and packing them into this one isolated mesa. Their monumental task was to harness the power of nuclear fission and turn atoms into a weapon of unimaginable power. Almost immediately after operations began, strange stories started to emerge. Residents reported unexplained, silent flashes of light illuminating the vast desert sky at night. Mysterious power outages would regularly plunge the entire compound into total darkness, and electrical systems would fail without any warning or explanation. Military police conducted surprise lockdown drills at all hours, day or night, forcing everyone indoors without a word. Many residents later described a constant, palpable pressure in the air, an invisible, heavy weight that never seemed to lift. Psychologists who studied the community after the war described Los Alamos as a population living under chronic, extreme stress. The people there didn't know exactly what they were building, but they knew it was enormous, and they knew it was dangerous. Here's the most unsettling part. Most of the families living in Los Alamos had absolutely no idea what the project was really about. Wives didn't know what their husbands did all day. Children weren't told why their schools were surrounded by armed guards. The entire project was built on a foundation of total compartmentalization. Everyone worked on tiny, isolated pieces of a massive puzzle, a set of calculations here, a material test there, without ever seeing the full picture. One scientist later recalled, "You could work next to someone for years and never know what they were really doing." They lived inside a bubble of classified silence, cut off from the rest of the world and even from each other. Then came the morning of July 16, 1945, at 5:29 a.m. In the barren New Mexico desert near Alamogordo, the first atomic device was detonated. The Trinity test. The explosion unleashed a terrifying force, equivalent to 20,000 tons of TNT. The searing heat was so intense it turned the desert floor into a sea of radioactive green glass. As the mushroom cloud ascended into the dawn sky, Oppenheimer famously recalled a line from the Hindu scripture, the Bhagavad Gita: "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." Less than a month later, the work of Los Alamos was unleashed upon the world. Atomic bombs destroyed the cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. By the end of 1945, over 200,000 people were dead, and the secret city of Los Alamos finally knew what it had created. After the war, the weight of this knowledge crushed many of the scientists. They struggled with profound guilt, depression, and a deep existential dread. Some, including Oppenheimer himself, became passionate advocates for nuclear disarmament, desperate to put the genie back in the bottle. Others, like Edward Teller, doubled down, pushing for the development of the even more powerful hydrogen bomb. The Cold War arms race had begun. What started on that quiet, isolated mesa didn't end with victory in the war. It reshaped geopolitics, the nature of warfare, and humanity's very relationship with its own extinction. Los Alamos finally opened to the public in 1957. The fences came down. Its name appeared on maps. Today, it looks like any other pleasant American town. It has coffee shops, public parks, and high schools. But just beneath the surface, it carries a legacy unlike any other place on Earth. This wasn't just a research facility. It was the place where humanity crossed a monumental threshold. It was where our science tragically outran our wisdom, where our power arrived long before our restraint. In the ancient myths, when humans steal fire from the gods, the punishment doesn't come instantly. It unfolds slowly, over generations, a creeping shadow that follows humanity forever. Los Alamos is our modern version of that story. The people there didn't just build a bomb. They unlocked a permanent shadow that now hangs over all of us. So no, Los Alamos isn't haunted by rattling chains or pale apparitions in its windows. It's haunted by something far more terrifying, an idea. The undeniable, irreversible realization that human beings now possess the power to erase themselves from the planet. Some secrets, it turns out, eventually become public, but their consequences never disappear. Thanks for watching. If you found this story as fascinating as I did, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss our next dive into the hidden corners of history.